What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 54 of 10K on the Bay. Well, that's a lot of episodes. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me take a look here and see if I can make sure the sound's working. Number 54 of 10K on the Bay. Well, that's a lot. Working. Awesome. All right, guys. I just want to do a quick video on my pricing. So I have decided to do a final pricing for 2017, and I'm not going to change it. I've decided on a pricing strategy. I'm going to stick with it until the end of the year. What's up, Elvin? What's up, Shazad? What's up, Alice? Thanks, guys, for joining me. I'm just going to let a couple of people come in for once. I normally don't do that. I just get right into it, but today is going to be a quick about 10-minute video on my pricing strategy for the rest of 2017. I'm not going to change it because you can't keep changing your business model every few days because it's gonna drive you crazy. What's up, Chicago Crown Hustler? Who had the best pro tip ever? If you guys are not following Chicago Crown Hustler, he basically saved me tons of money on ink in his shipping video. I'm not gonna tell you which one. You gotta watch all his videos. All right, so I'm gonna go over my pricing strategy right now real quick for you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. But I am going to do two things. So the first strategy is I'm going to double my money every 90 days if I do my own work. Okay? So meaning if I put $10,000 in the inventory right now, I want to make $3,333 per month for 3 months. And at the end of 3 months, I will have officially doubled my money. So that's the timeline I want for my pricing strategy. So when I buy things, I'm gonna think, okay, can I make a third of my money in 30 days? Can I make 2/3 of my money in 60 days? Or am I gonna double my money over the course of 90 days? Now, of course, I'm willing to wait, as long as it takes, really, but I'm just trying to say that the 90-day window, I really like to flip my stuff within 90 days. So I'm looking at least doubling my money every 90 days. That's how I'm gonna evaluate it, because I think that's really gonna help me stay focused on increasing the number of, it's going to keep me focused on the sell-through rate, which is the most important, which I'll get through another point in just a second, which is I'd like you guys to help me find an online business CPA that I can refer my mastermind group to, because I'm quickly finding out that, yes, I can help you grow the number of items in your store. I know exactly how to do that. I can tell you what to buy. I can tell you how much to buy it, but I can't actually tell you how much money you net, which is the key. And that's my biggest question. Like, how do I net $1,000 a week or net $2,000 a week? And so I can give you an idea of what you need to buy to make that work. But it doesn't work super well when I myself don't know the exact numbers. I rely on my CPA to do it, and I'd like to switch to an online business CPA instead of the one I've been using for years for my normal taxes. I want somebody with a little bit more experience on, exactly what can I write off for a YouTube channel, for my Patreon, for my Google AdSense, for eBay, for Amazon. There's so many different income streams now. I would like to get an online CPA. So if you guys know one, refer me, and let's try to figure out a way to do some synergy. I use a poly mailer to ship ties, yes, but I put it in a plastic bag first for an extra 4 cents to make sure that it doesn't get damaged on the way. What's up, God's Miracle? Lisa, Matthew, what's going on? So, okay, Levon, what's up? And I'm going to leave in just 10 minutes, and I'm going to answer all my emails. It's getting out of control. But I'm glad that you're here because I haven't figured out. I'm redoing my spreadsheet, so it has two things. One is how many listings and how many you do each week, and the other part is how much net profit are you actually making. There's a guy that I'm watching on Instagram called Watch Me FBA, and he has a daily, Tina, what's up? This is so sexy. This guy on Instagram, he has a daily how much profit he makes set up. Like he has an employee, only one employee, and he's making several $100,000 a year. And the employee fills out this spreadsheet, and he knows how much profit he's made every single day. That is so sexy. That is the service I want to provide to my mastermind group, right? And it's going to take me a while to get there, so be patient. But it would be really great to know how much profit you made every single day. That would be the best way to do it. I don't actually give out my eBay handle here, but I will give it out if you email me or if you at 10kinthebay@gmail.com, or if you join my Patreon group. Trying to have less people follow my store, even though it's like pretty much public knowledge. Even though I don't give out my eBay store name, I miraculously have 500 people following my store. So obviously some of you are able to find it just by looking at the stuff that I'm selling, which is fine. I just don't want thousands of people crawling my store and not buying anything. Let's see here. Okay, so basically this is my pricing strategy. And I just want to go over it with you guys live so I can think through it. And there's also 72 people watching, so if you guys want to hit the like button and help me out, that would be awesome. Okay, so let's say I have $1,000, and I want to basically double my money every 90 days. So 1,000 after 90 days turns into 2,000. After another 90 days turns into 4,000. And so if I can turn my money over 4 times a year, that's where I want to be with my reselling career. Now this is if I do the work myself. Now here's sort of a caveat. At a certain point, you're going to run out of time, right? Because I want to make 40 grand a month, which means I need like 100 grand or $120,000 in inventory, doubling every 90 days. So that makes sense. I need 120 grand worth of stuff that doubles in 90 days. Now, that's kind of difficult to do yourself, right? Unless you have help. So, or you sell expensive items. So I'm starting to realize now, after looking at a lot of different sellers, that the only way to make X amount of cash really is to turn over a larger dollar amount of stuff. So, okay, that's the model for me, which is doubling my money every 90 days. Now, here's the second part to it. I am willing to do 1/3 of that. So we're talking about 10% net margin every month, or 30% over 90 days if I hire someone to do the work for me. Okay, so this is a little bit of a different idea, but I was listening to Dave Black, who has a channel called Drive Time with Dave, and a couple other super large sellers, and they're saying that 8% is the net margin on large companies for the most part. If you net 8%, that's amazing. And I'm thinking, man, that sounds really shitty to me, right? Like, I gotta do $1 million in inventory, $1 million in sales to net 80 grand. Well, here's the thing. They're doing $1 million to net 80 grand, but they're not doing any of the work, right? They've hired managers. I mean, there's no such thing as passive income completely, in my opinion. There is very, very non-active income. Like if you were to own a property, there might be a tiny amount of work. It's not completely passive. My point is, they're netting 80 grand, but they're not there. They're not doing the day-to-day operations. They have people who are helping them. That's why the margin is so small, because normally the other margin, which you would get if you do the work yourself, is there. But I'm changing my model to 30% every 90 days if I'm hiring people, or 100% doubling my money every 90 days if I do the work myself. But again, my time is limited, and there are unlimited people in the world that can work for you. You could have 100 employees. You could have 1,000 employees. You could be like Walmart and have 1 million employees, right? So some people are saying Walmart's profits margins are only 3%. Well, 3% times 1 million people working for you, that's billions of dollars. That makes you one of the largest companies ever. So now that I have that mentality, I finally figured out the bulk buying strategy. If I'm gonna buy an item and have somebody else list it, somebody else pack it, I'm gonna expect a much lower margin. My mistake was like, okay, I'm going to double my money and hire people, which is kind of greedy and kind of impossible. It works on a small scale, but not really. You can't go like super huge. One interesting thing also is that my store shrunk a little bit because I had a bunch of items end. I had 1,200 items end this weekend. So I'm at about 3,000 total items on eBay. But my store is a lot smaller now, and my sell-through rate is on fire right now. So I don't know if it's conspiracy theory, but I think having 1,000 items in your store is pretty manageable. You can go in there, you can frequently look at them. At 3,000, I wasn't really, I mean, to be honest with you, I did not check my listings at all, because there's too many of them to really get an idea of what's going on. So like, now that the store is smaller, I'm thinking about starting to focus on items that are $20 profit or more, $25 or more in profit, versus the cheap items that are 10, because you guys know my original model, I was only going to make $10 per item, which is fine. But I'm starting to realize that the quality of the listings is much lower because I don't have the capacity really to review listings. And I was being kind of silly by doing, okay, I'm going to be a full-time reseller and have a full-time job and also scale my business really fast, which is just not really possible. I can tell you though, you can run a 1,000-item store part-time. That's my theory. I think you can run a 1,000-item store part-time if your sell-through rate is 1/3 or less a month. 300 items a month selling out of 1,000. That's only 10 packages a day. But you need 10 items you need to list, 10 items you need to sell. That's part-time, in my opinion. You can do that in 20 hours a week, right? And that's healthy. So if you're selling 300 items and you're making $20 per item, that's a really healthy $6,000 a month business. That's very healthy. But if you're only making $10 an item, then you're only making $3,000. That's not as worth it, right? So you can either have a huge store like I'm planning on having with a small margin, or you can do it yourself with the higher margin. And right now I'm doing both. I've got low-key husky where the average dollar price is $38, and starting to grow because I'm looking for more expensive stuff. But I quickly found out how little time I have left after doing that. I'm burning the candle at both ends. And now I fully understand that there's one or the other. You can either scale other people's time, or you can do your own time. And obviously, I couldn't have gotten to 3,000 listings without employees. I hired 4 people to list for me. That's how I was able to get there. And I can't, to be honest, I can't even handle the drafts. I have over 1,000 drafts now. So it's like, that's wasted money because I haven't had time to review them and list them. And so right now, my listers are taking a break because they're 2 of them are in school, and 2 of them are just, they don't need the extra, they just wanted the extra money. But this is why I didn't hire a full-time employee, because I'm not ready to have people rely their entire income on me. I was like, if you don't have a job or another source of income, you can't work for me, because I'm not ready to be your sole provider. Like, your job could go away at any second because I'm just learning about eBay. I'm not like an established, I have a warehouse, we get this much coming in, this is how much work there is every single month. I'm not there yet. Let's see what kind of questions you guys have. Yeah, hustling is awesome, but you can only hustle so much. There's only so much time. Yeah, having your whole family involved is awesome. My girlfriend is starting to get into it too. She just opened her own eBay store. And it's going very well. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, I understand how to track. This guy, his name is Watch Me FBA. Like, he was showing me his spreadsheets, and I was just like so jealous. I was like, he knows how much money he spent on every single website. He knows what categories do well. And okay, here's another thing that's interesting. He did $20 million in sales basically over the past couple years, 20 million in sales, and his net was 1.8 million. And he was getting some heat from people because they're like, you only made 1.8 million on 20 million, you suck. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, he made $1.8 million profit in a couple of years. That's insane, right? That's massive. And if you do the math on it, just like, Drive Time Dave and other big sellers have told me, when you get to a certain level, you're operating at basically 8% margin, right? But you're doing less of the work. And this makes sense with Amazon, right? Because Amazon is doing the work for you. So all the listing, shipping, processing, customer service, you're outsourcing that to Amazon. You're paying a higher fee, right? People are saying, oh, Amazon's expensive. It's more service. That's why it costs more money. If it wasn't worth it, there wouldn't be Amazon FBA, right? So he did 1.8 million on like 20 million in sales. That's like 8%. It's like 9% actually. So he's doing a little bit better than what other large sellers have told me, which is you're going to be at 8% once you start hiring out the work. And I fully get it now. So for all the people who are saying to me like, oh, that's not worth my time, I agree, but it's still worth your time if you make a certain amount of money. So for example, if I'm buying a bunch of stuff, or actually, let me break it down this way. If somebody bought the items for me, somebody listed the item for me, somebody shipped the item for me, and I didn't have to do anything except for insert money in one side of it, a 10% return would be awesome. So that's where I'm at. I know, actually, I'm not, if I was Jewish, I would be rich. I mean, that's racist, but like, I don't have any Jewish friends that are bad with money, right? So I don't know if that's, I think that is racist. I apologize for being racist on my channel. I don't want to be racist, but like every single Jewish friend I have is really good with money. It's like, hopefully they're not offended. When people tell me that I'm good at math because I'm Asian, I'm not that offended. I'm only a little bit, a little bit like, is that really why? Is it just genetic? Like, do I like noodles just because of where I was born? I don't know. Let's see. Do I think I'm biting off more than I can chew? Kind of. The reason why I say that is because this is where I was biting off more than I can chew. I was trying to double my money with over 90 days with hiring people. That is too greedy. Like if you're gonna hire people, you accept the lower margin and move on. Like don't expect the same margin as when you're doing it yourself with staff. That's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly. Frank's saying that that's the engineer in him. I love detail-oriented dudes. That's why I want to get people that are in the. I need to get one dedicated online business tax person in my group so they can help these 50 people crush it money-wise. I need to do that. My mind works more on the sales side, right? I'll find stuff that we can sell and flip and make margins on, but I'm not the CPA guy. Let's see here. Am I currently hiring buyers? I am. So I have people that are looking for stuff from me right now. So that's on a per piece basis. What's the best eBay fee calculator? I just do 15% in my brain. So like I'm gonna assume that something for 10, I'm only gonna net 850. I just do that mental math. That's more than the fees, right? And then since I charge for shipping, that's not included in it. Right? So if it's selling for $10 plus shipping, I'm gonna assume it's gonna net me $850. That's how I do the math. And I never lose money using that math because it's more, right? We got 9% sort of for eBay fees, 9 to 10%, and then 30 cents for plus 3% on PayPal, 2.9. So you're looking at no more than 15%. So that's just what I pick. Awesome. I'm glad you read the book. Yeah, my book lives on the toilet. Like I sold 500 copies of my book, and where it lives is in people's bathrooms. I don't know why. I wanted it to be a coffee table book, but that's not where it lives. Like people send me screenshots all the time of, like going to the bathroom is the perfect time to read one story. So that's where it seems to live. Lisa's asking, am I still buying them both? Yes, but I'm expecting a much lower margin. I'm only expecting 10% return per month. So if you're just getting started, I would not do it. My book is on eBay. It's called 10,000 Rides. If you go to the Low Key Husky eBay store in the description, you can buy one. There's still a couple left. Yeah, I mean, I in my second store, I don't charge for shipping because I want fast sell through. But my first store, I'm looking for high, ridiculous profit margins. That's why I charge for shipping, but it is definitely slower. Like it's a no-brainer. Free shipping will be slower. I mean, will be faster, especially because if you were eBay and you're trying to make the best customer experience, you would rank free shipping items higher, right? So I mean, that makes sense. Thanks, Relic. Yeah, I'm just saying if you guys are going for, now that I have a little bit more money, when I first started at $1,000, right? So that's more than most people. I agree with that. But I was looking for home runs, right? Because I'm like, I only have $1,000. I can't make 10% of my money. That's only $100 a month I'm gonna get, which is fine. 10% a month still adds up really fast. But I was like, I want to double my money every week, right? And when you're just starting, you can do that. You can go and find a $20 item to sell for 100, but you can only do that so many times. So that's why I'm thinking, now that I have a little bit more capital, my store's a little bit bigger, I'm going to invest in both. I'm going to do my own cherry picking for stuff that's $25 and over profit. And I'm also going to buy bulk and have somebody else list it and make that smaller amount of profit. What's up, Kareem? Selling stuff on Instagram is awesome. Like I'm like 3 for 3. I sold the jewelry lot that I didn't want to deal with. An awesome lady bought it, and I'm sure she made money on it. I sold that big lot of purses on Instagram. I'm just selling stuff on Instagram I don't like selling as lots. It's pretty easy. Okay, that's not fair. It's easy for me because I have a large following on Instagram. But I started Instagram March 1st. So it hasn't been that long. You guys can do it too. Yeah, Low Key Husky is my eBay store. It's in the description below. You can link to it. Yeah, I agree. Like Relic said, the best thing he did was hire a good bookkeeper. I want both. I want to build a spreadsheet that tells you this is how much money you made today. Like I want that. I don't have that yet. Yeah, I'm going as hard as I can, and also I have no kids, and I'm in the 2-income, no kids bracket, and not married yet, so I don't have a lot of responsibilities yet. I don't have any kids that I know of. I would suggest not selling clothes right now. Let's see. For example, I'll show my Low Key Husky store. I also got a different phone for each eBay store to make it easier. So like, check this out. This is my second store, right? I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you guys see this? It's 72 sold, but listed, but 146 sold. Right at 5,000. Can you guys see the screen? I don't know if it's backwards. It's backwards on mine. Let's see. 54.47 divided by 146. Yeah, so $37 average on my second store. And the kind of stuff I'm selling, you guys can look at it. My store is in the description below. But like calculators, shoes, patches, electronics. I'm selling stuff with a higher profit margin. But for me, clothes is still solid. It just takes longer. So let's see, who asked that? Monica. 1,000 pre-owned clothing is gonna suck because I had 3,000 pieces of clothing and I was only selling like 20 a day, right? Which is horrible for that much inventory. And now that my store, 1,200 items listed, and I need to go and review them, I'm still only, my sell-through rate actually went down. I said that in one of my previous videos. At 1,000, I was selling 10 a day. At 2,000, I was selling close to 20 a day. When I got to 3,000, which is where I'm at right now, Brian, my sell-through rate went back down to 10 items per month. Per day. So my sell-through rate went into the shitter because basically I wasn't. I'll tell you why. One, it's a slower season for clothing, and two, it's a slower season for clothing, and two, the quality of my listings was going down because I was having other people do it, and no one lists as well as you do. Nobody cares about your business as much as you do, and my processes weren't clean enough that they're listing at the same quality of mine. Like some of my listers, in some of the pictures, you can see their feet, you can see the background. One of them has a picture of her cat because she forgot she uploaded the wrong photo. That's because my processes aren't tight enough to avoid that. There's not a good enough checklist that they don't make any mistakes. Thanks, reseller guy, for stopping by. Do I have a day job? My day job is like 9 to 3. I do like 30 hours a week of Facebook marketing for some private clients. Brian's at 3,500 and need more space. Yeah, I agree. And also, in my defense, I think it takes a little bit of time to index. Brian, I don't know if you found this true or not, but like when I went from 1,000 to 2,000, my sales didn't go from 10 to 20 right away. It took like another 40 days for the sell-through rate to go up to 20. I don't know what the algorithm is, and I'm not going to try to guess what that is, but basically I see that it's not linear. You don't list more and sell more on a linear basis. It's gonna be a roller coaster a little bit, but the trend is gonna go like this. It is gonna slowly go up. There's 95 viewers. If you guys could help me out, hit the like button. That'd be fantastic. Miss Monica, yeah, 20 a day. I think you need 3,000 to 5,000 junky pieces of clothing to sell that. But you only need 100 hot items to sell 20 a day. Sounds weird, but like if you're selling really, really hot, famous brands that are hot right now, in trend, in season, in celebrity, in the news, you're gonna sell like 20% of your inventory every day because people want that. Camille, thanks for joining me. First time on the channel. Yeah, smash that like button. Thanks, Ken. What's the best category to sell in? Home goods. Home goods is the #1 category to sell in. It's so easy. Like KitchenAid mixers, kitchen stuff. It sells so fast. And kitchen and home goods past clothing. If you guys don't know that, the #1 category on eBay is home goods. And for me, I don't even have any home goods because they all sold. Brian says the newer stuff sells. I agree with that. I mean, the newest. I mean, I think older listings get stale too. So Brian has a larger store, 3,500 items. I want to get the 10K because I have the space right now, and I really just want to do the. I really want to get to 10,000 items, even if it's a silly goal, just because it's fun. What percentage do I pay myself? I have an S corp, and I pay myself 30 grand a year, which I haven't actually even taken. I just put it back into the business, but that's my salary, 2,500 a month, and the rest goes back into the business. 10K is going to be. I mean, I think you guys already know this, but I have 3 stores, and all 3 are going to have 10K. I know it sounds crazy, but like I already have the processes now to list. Now it's just about getting the items. One's wholesale, one's myself, and the other one is wholesale thrifted stuff. One's wholesale thrifted stuff. One is wholesale brand new with tags, and the other one is me hunting. I want to get 10,000 really, really cool items on my store because I think it's fun. I like to flip stuff, and it's actually a passion of mine. So I want to have a store that has cool stuff. What's up, Got Junk in Our Trunk? Thanks for joining me. No, I'm not gonna. I want my stores to be sellable, but not sell them. If you guys know Rockstar Flipper, he said that he has a friend that sold his business for. Thanks, Ken. Ken just sent me a super chat for $5. Thank you very much. Brian asked, "Are you planning to sell all your stores once you get the 10K?" I'm not, but Casey the Rockstar Flipper said that he had a friend that somebody offered him 2.5x earnings. So his business is netted 100,000 a year. Somebody offered 250,000 to buy that business from him because he had the supplier contracts in place. So that guy would basically buy the eBay business, get the suppliers, and he would be able to replicate the process without starting over. He was buying the account with the feedback. Now, I actually don't think that's necessary on eBay. If I were to sell my business, it would basically just be the sheets that I have for listing, whatever the accounting thing that I'm trying to build right now. And then also, I would sell all the processes, but you can start from 0. I think you can get 100 feedback in 2 months on eBay. So I just want my business to be sellable. And Brian, to be honest, I think that it's very, very easy to sell a business for 1x. So like if you make 100 grand net, selling your business for 100 grand would be very easy. Even bringing in a partner with some kind of deal where you work in the business for a year or something and help them do that, I think that's very doable. Because there's a lot of people in the chat right now that they may have 10 grand or 20 grand, or maybe they have less, but they would definitely pay that in order to get a business that's already sort of built. And people are always asking, like, what are we selling? What product should I buy? If you buy someone's business and they already know what they have, what you should buy and access to it, then it's worth it to buy it, in my opinion. It's like buying the ability to fish. Brian said he's thinking of putting mine on the market for 100K and pay off your house and start a new store. I mean, that's a good idea. If your business makes 100K net, you can sell for 100K right away, in my opinion. There's a business broker lawyer that I'm trying to become friends with because I want to know what it takes to sell a business. So I really like the idea of being friends with a lawyer that brokers businesses because he can tell me what I need to do in my business to make it sellable. What's up, Slavish Python? You're 14? Awesome. If you can sell, you should email me at 10konthebay@gmail.com. I can help you get started. If you have no money, the only way you can start is to sell stuff that you own. You're gonna sell all your clothes, all your pants, all your underwear, all your shoes, all your toys, all your games, to have a little bit of capital. And when you're brand new, you can actually learn a lot because you bought the stuff that you have at your house, and you sort of know what you paid for it or what your parents paid for it, and then start flipping that stuff slowly and build it up. If you're 14, dude, if I was 14 right now and I had YouTube, it would be awesome. Like there was nothing when I started reselling. I was just basically wasting so much time. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. I just gotta see, like I'm on Instagram right now asking for help with the CPA, and someone just texted me, contact this guy, he's really good, right? So it's awesome. Leverage social media. Slavish Python, I would start a channel. I would say, hey, I'm 14 and I wanna grow an eBay store for fun, and talk about it, and you're gonna be having an audience of other 14-year-olds, and you guys can create this like crazy coalition of 14-year-olds that are crushing it, and then you guys can teach me what to do. What's up, Larry's Treasures? Clearing clutter for clarity. That is so hard to say fast. But yeah, like I've seen parents, and I'm not complaining about my parents, it was good enough, but like parents who teach their kids how to be entrepreneurs, they just have so many more options. Let's see. Ken saying it works well with Shopify stores. Oh, that's a great point. So you guys know that I am doing a private label called Low-Key Husky, right? And with Low-Key Husky, I'm building my own brand, right? So I'll have a Shopify store connected. That's really, really easy to sell because I have the brand. That's actually easier to sell. So Low-Key Husky is going to be a company that designs and does its own products. Right? It takes a little bit of time to grow, but that's easier to sell because it's its own brand. It has value in its own. Versus if you sell an eBay store, you're selling somebody else's value. You're selling your connection to that. So for example, this is why somebody can sell their Amazon FBA account for 20 grand if they're ungated in every category. Because you have the ability to sell everything now. That's why people are paying 20 grand for that account, if that makes sense. That is worth it. If I can legally buy an Amazon FBA account that's ungated in every single category for 20 grand, then I will save up and buy it because it's easier, right? I'm not restricted in any category. $20,000 is easy because you can get your money back. Like just even one thing like Nike shoes or Adidas or Reebok or a giant, you don't need these giant brands to make a ton of money on Amazon, but I'm just saying that buying an ungated account is awesome. As long as you have the capital to buy stuff to sell, it's a shortcut, it's a hack. It would be easier, in my opinion, to make $1 million by partnering with somebody with money. You do all the work and they buy your connections. Now, I don't know if that's the way I would do it, but Low-Key Husky is going to be an LLC. Right now it's a sole proprietorship, but it's looking like it's going to take off pretty well. The social media is working pretty well. It's connected to my social, which helps a lot. But like Low-Key Husky is also not me. 10K on the Bay is also not me. Like if I grow this to 10,000 items, the brand 10K on the Bay can continue without me. It's not Chris, right? It's not me. That's why I think your brand should be not your name. Unless you're really cocky like Ralph Lauren and you can pull that out. I don't even know if that's his real name. Dang. All right, guys. Well, there's 102 people watching. Please help me hit that like button. If you guys know a CPA, please hit me up at 10konthebay@gmail.com. I'm trying to get some resources for my mastermind group. which is 50 people that basically we meet with once a week and try to make sure we can get a full-time income. There's more information in my Patreon below. You guys can take a look. I'm not going to advertise too much, but I am looking for a CPA to help me. And then in review, just if you guys have missed the beginning of the video, I've picked a business model that I'm going to keep the rest of the year, which is I want to buy something with the intent to double my money within 90 days. Or if I'm doing a bulk buy, if I'm buying a pallet from Target or Best Buy, I want to make 10% net per month. So 1/3 of that, because I'm going to be spending the money on labor and processing and all that stuff to make it work. So I'm expecting a 1/3 smaller margin if I hire out the work for other people to help me. So that's the model. Double my money if I do the work myself. 1/3 my money over 90 days. What's up, Ken? What is that? Let me Google that to see what that is. Is that a location in China? Oh, I think that's awesome. I only moved to Thailand. I mean, the College Picker. Do you guys follow? I think it's Eric, College Picker, on YouTube. He lives in Thailand some of the year, and it's a lot cheaper. I would definitely consider moving to a different place. I mean, I'm in California right now. It's ridiculously expensive. If I were to live in Thailand, oh man, I can't even imagine. The cost of living is probably 25% of what it is here. Oh, his name, that's awesome. I wonder why he changed to Ralph Lauren. But anyway, you guys can make your own. I think making your own brand is awesome because you actually have something to sell. Like, and I had a lot of fun designing it. So the, like you can see my store, right? You can see the little husky guy on eBay, low-key husky. I like having the little logo because it's fun. So now I own that brand. Yeah, so I made the brand. I spent the time. Right now I have a little logo. And see, this is easier to sell. Like Ken said, you can sell a Shopify store. So if this is the brand, Low-Key Husky, right? So people who buy this company are going to be buying this little guy. They're going to own all the rights to him and all the stuff that you put this guy on. They own. If somebody were to buy this company from me, they would take the Husky from me, and then they would be able to make all the money associated with him. And I'd probably have to sign a document saying I can't create the same thing, right? A non-compete. So, and it's fun when you have a community, you can ask him, right? Because the original one was a red collar, but like I wanted an eco-friendly dog, so they changed it to a green collar, and then added a little earth on his tag, right? So you can basically adjust your business, but if you create your own brand, you can sell the brand to somebody. And also, like, I really like mascots because you can put it on a normal item that sells well, and it makes the value of the item cost more. So for example, this is a koozie, right? And these koozies are like probably $5. They're koozies that keep your drink cold, right? They're $5. But if you add Jägermeister to it, right? Now it's worth $20 or 10 or something because you've added the brand. There's some brand equity here, right? So later, I can put this husky on here. I'm actually going to do that. So here's the thing, though. There's a million people selling koozies, right? But I think I'm going to be able to sell mine because I'm going to put this little guy on there. Think of a waterproof way to put this on here, and then I'll have some branding. So this is something for you guys to consider. Am I going to market to UW fans? Probably. I mean, I'm going to market to everybody who likes dogs, to be honest. And I wasn't going to do a private label in the pet industry, but I know it's extremely lucrative, right? And I have a pretty good mascot for the pet industry. If I wanted to make stuff, I would. I don't have a Shopify store yet. If you haven't noticed, I have too many projects right now, but Low-Key Husky will have a Shopify store. Awesome. You have a husky. That's so awesome. So does Watch Me FBA. Um, do I have one on Wi-Fi only? I actually have 3 cell phones, but these are the 2 eBay store ones. And so like this one has all the cards and receipts I use for eBay purchases. They're both on Wi-Fi only. Yeah. So Frank says you're not allowed to buy an Amazon account, but you can buy a business that includes an Amazon account. Exactly. That's why it's risky to spend 20 grand to buy an ungated account. Yeah, it is kind of like a Trello dog. So this is a good example. So the Trello dog, his name is Taco. Let me show you guys. I happen to like Huskies, but let me show you the difference between Taco and Low-Key. So they are a little bit similar, right? It's a legitimate comparison. I mean, mine's a little bit different. Obviously, but the thing is, like, every single logo that's this style sort of looks like this. You know what I mean? So it is similar. I do think Low-Key is more hipster, which is my brand, right? And you can come up with your own husky and do the same thing. You can completely copy my idea and just do a different thing on it. But like Taco, see, look, Taco even has one where he's reading, right? There's one with Taco reading. He's definitely a different dog though. Not the same dog. Mine's a little bit more scruffy because he's more hipster. But like they don't completely own completely own like I can definitely use a husky. See, like they used one for Thanksgiving. See, this is what I'm talking about for limited edition prints. I can make stuff like that, and it's awesome. I mean, that's so funny. Holy crap! See, look, this is so funny. Somebody 3D printed Taco, the Trello. It's so funny. So funny. Look at Taco that's 3D printed. That's so funny. Oh, okay. I changed that. Thank you, Lisa, for letting me know. I will adjust that. I can't believe somebody 3D printed the Taco. It's so funny. All right, guys. I'm going to take off. If you guys have any questions, before you leave, hit that like button. 10konthebay@gmail.com. I got to buy a 3D printer now. The expenses never end. All right, guys. Have a great one. Happy holidays.